We're live.
Bear with me this time. Israel, bear with me as well. Gotta get it right. What's that? Shalom, Israel, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Thummy, Yahweh, Shemar, Thumb, Hashem, Yahweh, Shah, increasing officer at 5,000, the guy holding down to a 12 shield, General Mahayim gets here. General Mahayim will be here shortly. You know what I'm saying? He'll definitely be here shortly. If you have any questions, you know what I mean, keep your questions in the comment section. You know what I mean, put them in the comments. General Mahayim will definitely get to them as soon as he gets here. First, we gotta understand, man, we gotta wake up as the Lord shows people. Like, I don't know if they know till we get out there. It's getting real outside. It's getting real, Black, Latino, and First Nation, man and woman. Especially what's going on. You know what I mean? Joe's gonna talk about it tonight, you know what I mean, about what's going on, especially what happened out there in Indianapolis. You know what I mean? We had a Palestinian terrorist, you know what I mean, commit an act of terror against the Israelite school of I.S.U.P.K. And now is the time for us to realize we have enemies. We have enemies, Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Let me tell you something, and which is what we have to understand. That's why we have to understand us coming back to our culture and our identity is everything from y'all. It is everything. Because if we don't, we're going to continue to be lost out here. The problem with our people is you want to, you know what I mean, play both sides. You want to stand with Israel. You want to stand with Palestine. We got to learn how to stand with niggas going on. You got to stand with our people. We got to stand with so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians because we are the true children of Israel. As the Lord, you know what I mean, said, we are those people of the book. The so-called Jew is not a Jew, but the devil of the Bible speaks of. Right. They're over there fighting over a land of some of y'all that doesn't belong to neither one of them. That land don't belong to the Palestinians. That land doesn't belong to the oppressor that calls himself a Jew. That land belongs to us. That's right. That land belongs to us. I'm gonna show it to you. The problem is that we had no idea. Right. We had no idea who we are. We had no idea what our culture is, what our identity is. And our culture and our identity is right here in this Bible. And the Arabs know it. Palestinians know it, the Israelis know it, they know who the real children of Israel are. And they don't give a damn about neither one of us. That's why when it comes to our suffering and what goes on with us, we have to focus on our issue. The problem is, Karam, we want to focus on everybody else. We can't do that. We cannot do that. We have to focus on what we go through. Because we go through real tribulation. We go through real horror. As a matter of fact, I can show you that the so-called you don't go through that. Let me get Revelations 2 and 9. Let me get Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. Some of y'all hold lamentations, right? 4:17. Come on, go. I may start you up a little above. And that's what we have to realize, man. Like we had a whole, like we had a whole, you know what I mean, terrorist attack committed on the violent Palestinians. And you best believe, man, and you know what I mean, because the Captain Sapash and them brothers, I already out. You know what I mean? All the brothers out there in Indianapolis, all them brothers out there in the UK, had a mob of them come up against us in the UK with Captain Rashad, Captain Karapi, my big brother Sean God, man. Goes to show you, man. When they talk about us being thugs, us being this Karami Allah, they're the real terrorists. They're mad at so-called Jews. Both of them are the real terrorists. They've been terrorizing us for over 500 years. Over 500 years, trying to lay claim to a land that don't belong to neither one of them. I tell you, TikTok, and that's true. A land that doesn't belong to the Palestinians. A land doesn't belong to the so-called Jew. Because you got to realize, in 1947, right? In 1947, after World War II, the so-called Jews coming out of World War II, they placed them over there in Israel, in Jerusalem, over there in Gaza, in Palestine. And they land. You couldn't leave them over there. They wasn't trying to leave them over there with the Germans after what happened. They put them over there, you know what I mean, in our land. And that land don't belong to neither one of them. There was some Egyptian, you know what I mean, prime minister or politician. He said it. He said the Jews left black and came back white. So what does it tell you, Quran? That the people over there are not the real Jews. They're not. They call themselves Jewish. We ain't the ish. We ain't no ish. We the whole thing. Right. They don't call themselves Israelites. They call themselves Israelites. When the Bible, you know what I mean, is the book of the Israelites. Even you calling yourself an Israeli and not an Israelite is telling that you know you're not those people. And I'm going to show it to you. Read Revelation 2 and 9.
Go on. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation.
I know thy work and tribulation. Christ is saying, I know thy works. This is Christ speaking. Christ says, I know thy works and tribulation. You know the work that we put in, the work that we doing. He knows, you know what I mean, the tribulation that we go through. Nobody else knows. Listen, when y'all try to tell us about tribulation, you have no idea. Because the problem is, TikTok, they love to gloss over what happened to us. But history tells, you know what I mean, nobody was going to do the tribulation that we've been through. Right. Black, Latino, and Native American Indians, my God. The terror and the horror that we go through to this very day. Ask the Native American Indians. Ask the Seminole Indians, who are the tribes of Gad and Reuben. You're celebrating that man's genocide on every last Thursday of November. You're going to celebrate it. We can't do that. We can't do that as blacks and Latinos. You know what else we can't do? We can't, you know what I mean, keep remembering 9/11 and remembering every wicked thing that happened to everybody else. You probably looking at, oh, what's going on in Gaza and Israel is rough. What's happening with our people is rough. What's happening with us is rough. And it's something that gets, you know what I mean, completely washed over. They tell us to forget about slavery. They tell us to forget about Rosewood and Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they drop bombs on us. You looking at what's going on with the so-called Palestinians, or how they got being bombs dropped on us. They drop bombs on us on American soil. In Rosewood in Florida, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hell, we in Philadelphia right now. You know what I mean? We in Philly. And listen, TikTok, you want to know? Let me tell you something. In 1985, they dropped a bomb on black and Latino men, women, and babies in a West Philadelphia block called Osage Avenue. Dropped a bomb on us in West Philadelphia. That's what they did. They did this. Where was the outcry for that? Where was the sympathy? Like, come on, where was the my bad? There ain't none. Ain't nobody go to the United Nations for us, Malaki. Didn't nobody organize, you know what I mean, riots and marches all across the earth where everybody is standing in solidarity for the Palestinian or the Israeli? No. They don't do that for us. Christ is saying, I know thy works and tribulation, because we go through real tribulation. Let me tell you something. Did you know that the Palestinians get over, what is it, Malaki? What is it? About 10 million every year? Something like that. While the so-called Jew gets what? 55 billion? They going through tribulation coming out? No. Did you get 6 million? No. Did you get 55 billion?
Allah, sir.
But from y'all, I know they gave you 55 billion in 6 months. You had to get something. Malaki, what about you, Rob? Oh, damn, so we didn't get nothing? Ooh, it sounds like we go through real tribulation. While the so-called Jew, he don't know what tribulation is. You have the Diamond District. You got Hollywood. You got the music industry. You making all the money. All of you whores that got OnlyFans, he's your pimp. He making money off of that too. Salaki.
Right.
Keep going.
But thou art rich.
But thou art rich. We're rich, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. You know why we're rich? Because we have a king, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who gave up his life for us. We have a God whose name is Yahweh, who delivered us up out of Egypt. You know what I mean? And all he wants to require is our obedience, for us to keep his commandments, to have faith in our king, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to get ourselves together. Thou art rich, read.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews. Who says he's a Jew? Read.
And are not.
Who says he's a Jew and is not? I'll tell you. I'll tell you who calls himself a Jew and who's not. Leo Cole calls himself a Jew and he's not. Rosenberg, Paul Rosenberg and Peter Rosenberg, they call themselves Jews and they're not. Heisenberg, all of them, Goldstein, all of them call themselves Jews, and they are not. Christ is saying there's a people that call themselves Jews, and they are not. And how do you know that they're not talking about us? I know I see you Christians in the comments section on TikTok, but let me cut you real quick. You know why this is not talking about that black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman? You know what I mean? The Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites. Let me tell you why it's not talking. Christ is not talking about us. Because the little Jewish man and woman, the so-called Jew, he doesn't believe in Christ. They hate Christ. They do. And Christ is talking about people that would say they are Jews and are not. Christ is talking about Rosenberg. He's talking about Goldstein and Heisenberg. That's who he's talking about. And it's going to go further into it. And we believe on Christ. We believe because he was a great, the greatest man to ever walk on this earth. And he was a black man. I see y'all in the comments section come on. He was olive color. You're right. Are there any green people walking around? But there's black people walking around. So it's a type of olives, right? The green olive and the black olive. Which one was it? You ever met a green man before the car? God damn. They might be on drugs or something. It's a lot. It might be on that new stuff they smoking Columbia olive. I don't know. I have no clue. You know what I mean? What's that stuff y'all be smoking nowadays? I thought I could catch it a lot. I thought I was gonna catch the stuff, y'all. He listened to me. He wasn't saying something. It's all right. We go work it out in Hebrew again. I'm joking with the young brother, of course. Of course, with some of y'all don't smoke nothing. But understand something. It says, I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not. Read.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
But are the what?
Synagogue of Satan.
And the synagogue of Satan. Who is the synagogue? First of all, what does synagogue mean? Synagogue means chief house. So the oppressor that calls himself a Jew, they are the chief house of Satan. That is who they are. That's your rabbi. You know what they're doing to the kids in the car? Damn shame. Child abuse. Child abuse what they're doing to the babies. Hey, listen, man. GEN.YAHANNA will go further into it. And that. And that's what we got to realize, too, man. He said, there's people that call themselves Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. They are the synagogue of Satan. They're not God's children people. They not. And the propaganda machine is insane, too. You know how insane the propaganda machine is, Columbia Olive? They tell us, on walk on y'all. Barack.
I appreciate you for what. Let's get it on. A lot more in. First off, I got some videos right we were going to show tonight. Let's get ready to get those videos up. Also, somebody give me the viewership on Brett Baer's show on Fox News, all right? First, and then we'll also go over the different incidents that happened this week. We'll go over the incident in the UK, of course, it happened first, and the incident in Indianapolis, and then the subsequent incidents afterwards, all right? Let me go over this thing right here, if you don't mind. I can't see the words on this, all right?
Okay, come on.
I'll take a couple of your questions first, all right? We will absolutely go over everything tonight that happened this week. If anyone has any questions, you just let me know, all right?
I think you got a few on TikTok, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. You got a few on TikTok? Let's hear it.
Con, sir. Con. Few of the questions were about the significance. You know, I mean, they was asking about World War III and like, is it truly biblical about what's going on in Gaza and Israel right now?
Okay, is that a specific question? And is it
A few
biblical?
people were bringing that up. I'm about to pull the comments back up, sir.
Carl, you had a question right up.
Concert. My question was, I seen your post when you said turn on news. Was it referring to what just happened in Gaza,
Did you
or
watch it?
comment? It was a couple because I went on YouTube and I don't have.
Yeah, I'll play it right now.
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna play it right now. I'm gonna send it to you direct first, all right?
concert.
As soon as the computer, internet saw me, it cut off my light. It's my face cut off the light. I'm like,
I didn't even say that.
there you go, Sweat. Let me send you a video real fast, all right? I gotta send it on Messenger. Go ahead, Warrior.
I'm ready back for
I'm sorry, say it again. I appreciate it.
the number for Brent Baer.
Yeah, Brett Baer, that's his name, right?
Brent Baer.
Go ahead.
They have 2.2 million viewers.
Brett Baer, 2.2 million viewers. You on Messenger, right here, Doug?
Concert. Or you can text it to me.
Okay, I gotta send it. I think I can. I don't think so. Let me see. This is the video a brother sent me today, all right? He sent it to me upstairs, it was all right. Let me get up on this thing for a second, all right? Okay, first, let's play, we bring everyone up to speed. Let's play the incident that happened did everyone see the incident that happened in the UK? Where the captain was shot, give him a hand, man. Captain was shot, Captain Karakia, Officer Shamgar, Officer Rawborn, and other officers, they were out in the UK doing God's will out there, doing the speaking out there in the UK. And Palestinian activists began to attack the camp based on the lies and the propaganda from some Palestinian woman. That, of course, at a time when the Palestinians are being unalived by the Israelis, their children are being unalived by the Israelis by the thousands, this Palestinian woman made the same conclusion that everyone makes in a time of war. For some reason, when the oppressor is hating Germans, hating Italians, hating the Irish, hating the Chinese, this woman made the conclusion that black people are the problem. We're the problem. We're the actual enemy. And so they began to push and shove and attack the camp in the UK. Has everyone seen this video? Malak, you haven't seen it? Okay, we're going to play it, right? Of course, you know, the camp in the UK, they're one west out there. So they defend themselves. They defended themselves, and of course, they went away unscathed, no injuries, nothing, no problem, all right? Fast forward a week. Now, let me get up this. Hold on. 1 second, everyone on the line, all right? This all happened, I think, in the space of 2 weeks, if not 1 week. Let me just get up on TikTok. Okay. TikToking. Boom, bang, boom. Hold on. Live. Where's that at? It's right here. Okay, pushing the live button. One now up on this thing. I'll try to get your comments and talk to you a taste on this TikTok as well, all right? Okay. All right, TikTok. Here we go. All right. So now, what was I telling you? What was I saying to you just now? Okay, so that happened in the UK. A group of Palestinians attacked the I.S.U.P.K. in Birmingham, England. The I.S.U.P.K., as we will do every time. I pray you understand that. We defended ourselves. Went away, no problem, no harm, nothing. Everybody understands, right? So now, fast forward about 5 days. In Indianapolis. I got the call, I think 2:06 a.m., right? 2:06 a.m. I get a call that a Palestinian woman has driven her car into the school in Indianapolis. Drove her car in a terrorist attack. The same way they flew planes into buildings on 9/11, this Palestinian woman drove her car into the school in Indianapolis. By the grace of the Most High God, no one was hurt, no one was injured, but there were a few brothers and a child in the school at that time. The brothers went outside fully armed because we are the Israelite school of UPK. We're not Christians. And I pray every one of you enemies understand that. We are not Christian. These brothers went outside armed, took the woman out the car, took her ID and held her for the police. She confessed that she did it because she was angry at the Palestinian children being unalive. Do we have that video?
Oh, come.
Give me that video. And she confessed it on camera, that it was a terrorist attack. The police arrested her, right? The police arrested her. They took her away. And I would like everyone to remember this and understand this while I take a quick drink. Stand by, all right? For some reason, once again, the Palestinians have made the same conclusion that everyone else has made. We are the problem in the war that we have nothing to do with. Somehow it's our fault. Somehow we're wrong. Somehow we're the hate group. We're still the hate group, right? We're the ones that are hateful. We don't drive our cars into people's buildings. We don't bomb countries and unalive children. How are we the hate group?
Around the building, the fire department.
Just like our oppressors have decided
I haven't myself if I didn't do
blacks and Hispanics. We're the enemies. And she attacked our school. We were fine and she got arrested and the brothers were there. But I would like you cops out there listening to also remember one fact about this case. We didn't shoot her. We didn't kill that woman. That woman went to jail unharmed, and we could have rightfully killed her, unalived her that night.
Right.
And it would have been absolutely justified to the laws of the land. But we knew that we did not want to take someone's life unnecessarily. And those brothers out here in Indianapolis did not harm that woman in any way, even though she attacked us, even though she tried to unalive us. We still didn't harm her. They didn't ruffle her hijab on her damn head. They did nothing to her. But yet, of course, we're the ones everyone hates. We're the evil group. We're the group your mother can't stand, right? We're the evil group that your preachers hate when we didn't even hurt the woman who was trying to kill us. That happened. Time went on. Here's the incident right here.
as far as any structural, I haven't been in yet. I just got here.
Yes, I did it on purpose. Of course I did it on purpose. You think I'm crazy? No, I am not. Because seriously, this is like this what I can do because I'm gonna kill myself if I don't do something with watching children genocide every freaking night and we'll get up in the morning, evening, just seeing people dying. Yes, of course.
Comic-Con, they can see it online. They heard her confess too that she did it on purpose.
Of course, keep going.
I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm just here because if I don't do anything, I'm gonna really have a heart attack sitting in my freaking chair. I can't. This is at least I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just freaking getting my anger out.
Pause that for a second. You hear that? And sisters, don't you ever become like these filthy heathen women. She's just getting her anger out. That's all. Listen, she was having a bad day. She just wants a way to vent. That's all. She just wants to vent. So that she can vent, she needs to drive her car into a building. You know, just so she can get her anger out. That's why our women are never to behave like these stinking heathen women. Our men can't behave like they're men because they are a people without morals.
Right.
They don't have morals. Christian or Muslim, none of them have morals. She was just angry, yo. That's all. She was just upset. And so she had to hurt someone. She had to hurt someone, sister.
I seen a video over the weekend. What was crazy to me is that it's so easy to Google the synagogue, but none of them want to attack them.
Of course.
As soon as they see a white Christian with a shield, is y'all are the enemy.
Give the sister a hand. Because whether Jewish or Christian or Muslim, they all hate black people. Every last one of them hates Hispanics. I don't give a damn what your religion is or what country you're from. All of them think that we're the problem. And so now with synagogues everywhere, she of course goes into the middle of the ghetto to find priests of the Most High God under commanding General Yohanna. And just to calm down, she drives a car into the building. Because she said if she didn't do it, she was going to go crazy. So just to relax, she drives a car into a building and tries to unalive men of God who fight for blacks and Hispanics. Fast forward down to Captain Kapash's response to law enforcement that came down here. Esau's law enforcement. Right. Let me say something to the brothers out here, sisters out here watching. Who is that? Labaya, Smokey, Sherrod, Rocky Olive, I see you. Gary Hunt, I see you, Gary Hunt. You got a question, just type it in, the brothers will let me know, all right? The water, FBG something, you out there. Go ahead, you die.
Comic-Con, sir.
Yeah, but it's not so far in the
just that they're aware of it.
Guys, I'm sorry.
this guy
I wish I
rents out
could
your
do
house?
more for my country.
These are
But
brothers in the
seriously,
building, brothers
I
in the
never
school.
heard to
Step up
fly.
here, 'cause she's talking
I'm
too loud.
just trying to go free Palestine.
So what's going on? You own this place?
Yeah,
Somebody lives here? So it's a home or it's
it's a commercial.
or structurally everything's fine. They'll be able to pull the car out. They'll call their insurance and they'll get it boarded up. So
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty confident with everything right now.
Well, I'm pretty sure that she said she did it on purpose, so it's not an accident.
But it's not so far in that
Just
you
that
know,
they're
it's not
aware
gonna
of it.
cave in if you pull that car out, that kind of thing.
Okay.
If you feel like you need to call us back for anything, I feel like we're okay, but feel free to call us back. All right,
All right, appreciate
careful tonight, buddy.
It sounds like it's an intentional act.
I got to pull the other video for Captain Kapash's response.
Okay. So it's not on this video?
It's in the other
Well,
video.
let me tell you. Well, let me just fast forward for time's sake.
I have the Fox, both. I have the one that you sent me from Fox, and I have the official one that just drops the night from Fox.
Okay, you got the official one?
I have the official one.
Play the official one.
Comic-Con.
This happened just now before class on Brett Baer's show on Fox News. How many people watch it again, Malak? 2.2 million people watch this. Go ahead and play. If you get the UK, let me get that too.
Okay, Comic-Con.
The first play Brett Baer's show.
Okay, Comic-Con. I'm gonna play that.
Jackie, thanks. Indianapolis police officers have arrested a woman after she drove her car into a building she thought was a Jewish school. They're calling her, the suspect, a terrorist. The building is actually used by an anti-Semitic hate group. Correspondent Garrett Tenney has the latest in this bizarre story from our Midwest Bureau. Good evening, Garrett.
Yeah, Brett, good evening. Police and the FBI are now investigating this case as a potential hate crime committed by a woman with no apparent criminal record.
Late Friday night, after watching coverage of the Israel-Hamas war, police say 34-year-old Ruba Almagatha decided to plan an attack and chose this building because she thought it was a Jewish school. She drove her car into the building, breaking down one of the walls while several adults and children were inside. No one was injured. When police arrested the woman, they say she made reference to her people back in Palestine, who told officers, yes, I did it on purpose, and then admitted to committing a hate crime during a phone call with a family member while in jail. The building she thought was a Jewish school is actually associated with an extremist sect of the Black Hebrew Israelites, which the Anti-Defamation League defines as anti-Semitic. In response to the attack, the Indianapolis Jewish Community Relations Council said, although a Jewish facility was not targeted solely due to ironic misidentification, this is yet another reminder to maintain security protocols, remain vigilant of suspicious activity, and to report the same promptly to the appropriate authorities. The suspect is currently facing a charge of criminal recklessness, but could face additional charges, including for hate crimes, when she shows up in court for her initial hearing Wednesday.
If you want to understand life here in America, and if you want to know what Martin Luther King's dream was really about, not the dream they talk about today every year, not the dream your preacher patterns his life off after. But I'm talking about the actual dream. We're going to go into that tonight as well. What the Israelite School of UPK is doing is the actual dream of the actual man, Martin Luther King. Because you know what? We are not allowing our oppressor to forget what he's doing to us. We're not allowing them to ignore our pain. And your preacher is allowing them to ignore our pain. Where is the NAACP at to defend what happened to us? We were attacked, and it was a hate crime. Where's the Catholic Johanna just texted me that. Where's the NAACP trying to step up and fight for Black people who are under the attack because of their race? The entire story, at the end of the story, we're called a hate group when we didn't run a car into anyone's building. We didn't attack anyone. That woman, the brothers, took her out of her car, took her ID, and she went to jail with her head covered. With her head still covered. They didn't uncover her head. Do you know why? Because the brothers in the Israelite School of UPK are real heroes. The real thing. The thing you think about and talk about and draw and watch on Marvel movies. The I.S.U.P.K. are heroes, even in self-defense. And we not harm that Palestinian woman. But we're racist. We're racist, right? So why didn't they kill that woman? They would have been within their rights. If she would have attacked a synagogue, she would have been unalived. Please believe that. She attacked a group of Black men who know who the real Jews are. We didn't harm her, even beat her up, even hit her at all. She went to prison with her head still covered. How are we the racist group? What's racist about us? Let me help you with that racist thing. A lot of you watching out there, that's the reason that you're scared of the UPK. You're not afraid of the Muslims, though. You go join the Muslims. You'll join them, and they did 9/11. And you still went and became a Muslim. And you'll definitely become a Christian, even though they're the Ku Klux Klan. And they're the part of people, the religion of Donald Trump. But you'll go and join the Christians. And a lot of you are like Amari Stoudemire. You'll go and become a Jewish person when they are bombing and unaliving children in Palestine.
Right.
Please.
Mason, let's see what Amari had to say about this.
Yeah, let's see if Amari Stoudemire defends us. Let's see if he makes videos defending us. In the Israelite School of UPK, you call us a racist. You call us a hate group when you're the violent man. You're the one harming people. A woman tried to unalive us, tried to run us down in our sleep, and we still didn't hurt her. We still did not hurt her. You Christians, you're the hate group. You Muslims, you're the hate group. You Arabs, you white people, you're the hate group. Let me help you with that whole concept of the Israelite School of UPK is racist. They're a hate group. Let me give you some other people in history who were called racist. Malcolm X, in his day, was called a racist and a race bait. Give me another one. The Black Panthers Party. They were called racist and racist. Farrakhan was called a racist and a race baiter. Can I give you someone else that was called racist? Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull it up tonight right now. Can you pull that up, please? Because many, I'll give you a link.
Oh, I have it, sir.
Please. Many of you, what do you have here?
This is the official one that
I'm
came
sorry,
out.
finish everything. My apologies.
No.
Oh, please, you're right. Stay on point. You got it, Gordon. Go ahead.
Okay.
A woman faces charges after police say she crashed her car into a north side building with a Hebrew Israelite symbol on the front door.
IMPD says the woman told officers she did it on purpose.
WRTV's Rachel Wilkerson spoke to the owners of the building located near 35th and Keystone Avenue, who claimed they were attacked.
Surveillance video from the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, or UPK, shows a car pulled into the parking lot Friday, stopped, and then moved forward. It stops recording as the owner says the woman reversed and crashed into the building. Indianapolis Metropolitan Police says the woman told officers she purposely did this because of a Hebrew Israelite symbol on the door and referenced her, quote, people back in Palestine.
So that's a common misconception that we are affiliated with them in any type of way, that our holy signet, that our holy shield, the shield of King David that represents Christ our King, is associated with the Israeli or the Jewish population, which we have no affiliation with.
Kaposh says 4 children and a father were inside at the time of the crash. No one was injured, and the woman was charged with criminal recklessness. The FBI and Metro Police are investigating.
They're going to be looking for any federal nexus in terms of the crimes that were committed. They'll be working closely with local police to determine what's the appropriate level of prosecution.
Brad Swim is the regional security advisor for the Jewish Federation of Greater Indianapolis. He says these type of attacks are on the rise nationwide.
There's obviously a lot of concern even before this weekend. There was heightened, we've seen increased incidents of anti-Semitism across the country. It's catching a lot of people off guard. My organization, the Secure Community Network, has seen a 200% increase in anti-Semitic incidents in October of this year compared to the same.
That's it.
Well done, Captain. You're back. I'm so extremely proud of Captain Kaposh. Well done. He did a hell of a job. Give him a hand. I'm so proud of all of you brothers this week, man. Captain TITHES, man. Get Captain TITHES. So extremely proud of Captain TITHES. He went on that show, man, and defended the word of God in a place that no one I could imagine with Chief Head Priest Ariah and Yeshaya and Kazak and Shar and Ahab and Yaikwa, would have never imagined that this school under Commanding General Yohanna's leadership would have just made it where it went from that little room in Harlem. And these brothers did it because they're heroes. And if you think that anyone could ever harm us, we're not in any danger at all. Right. Don't worry about that, brother. You are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under Commanding General Yohanna, out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And no one could you without paying for it. No one. That's impossible. There is no way that any weapon formed against you shall prosper. There is nothing that can happen to you. All you do is you do what Captain Kaposh has done, and Captain TITHES, and Captain Mashak. And what's the captain's name over there in the UK again? Captain Karatazar. What these warriors have done, they're heroes. And the association that forged with allowing men like that to come into this school and then training men like that is the reason that we can't be defeated. because we have the best players on this team, Akim. I pray you understand that. Our team is better than yours. It's better. Captain Tazaryak is on this team. Captain Karatazar, Captain Bashat play for us. Captain Kapash plays for us. And that's why we can't be defeated and we can't be harmed. And forget about the Brave out there in Atlanta. Give them a hand. The Kentucky 8, give them a hand. Brother, that happened this week. Okay, and because of your sacrifice, and because of your bravery, and because of something that the world will never bring up when it comes to you, because of your mercy, you brothers out there in Indianapolis had mercy on that bitch. You had mercy on that fucking piece of trash. You were kind to her. You were gracious to her. You were gentlemen to her. That's what you did for that woman, man, who tried to unalive you. And you handed her over to the authorities with her head covered and in complete order. Well done, Akim. Give yourselves a hand. Well done. And for all of you Muslims out there listening, let me hit you to something that you have not known. The Israeli community has hated us since 1969. Since 1969, we've been hated by people who have stolen our precious seal. The Bible says this, that of all of the atrocities that has happened to the children of Israel, and our women have lost their savor, and our lamps and our instruments have lost their song, the greatest of all of the crimes that has happened to us is that the seal of David has now been given over to the heathen. That's in the Bible. And now you understand why rocking a shield is so important and why the purple pigs, the IUIC, and 1,000 other fake Israelite groups don't rock a shield anymore. This is our most precious symbol. This. And if you don't know it, men could have lost their lives for wearing it this week. They could have lost their lives. Well done. Well done, Indianapolis. Well done. Well done. Any questions? Let me play Martin Luther King's Real Dream. I want to go into this because I know as people watch this who have not been exposed to Commanding General Yahanna and the Israelite School of UPK before, you are afraid of us because we're called a hate group and we're called racist. Well, that's because you are a prisoner of the moment and you're not privy to history. Please, Warrior.
If I could, what's so happy about what you're breaking out in all these situations is the Palestinian flag. If I could, with the Palestinians, right? And them being out on the street, when they see us, or when we teach in class now, when they see us and they get in our class, they keep asking us to be on their side. But we've been trying to tell the whole world who the devil was. We've been trying to tell the whole world that you living over there with Esau, and that's not the real Israelite. So really, we've really been trying to help y'all out this whole time. They don't have no right to that land. You understand what I'm saying? But these things must come to pass. That's what's in the scriptures. But at the same time, we told everybody who the devil was. We told everybody. We've been going outside protesting every week. Every week we go outside and protest. Sometimes twice a week in the same city, and we tell everybody why everybody's going through what we're going through, and specifically why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans going through what they're going through. And now something ramped up with y'all, and y'all looking at us like we the bad people. We've been telling y'all. We've been telling the earth. When the wicked rule the earth, the people are going to mourn, and that's who was over there.
Give him a hand. Let me tell you, what the Akim is saying, the officer is saying is so true. Can you even fathom how much Commanding General Yahanna has been protesting? Can you imagine not ever having a weekend to yourself for 50 years? Never. Never having a Saturday or Friday for 50 years. Commanding General Yahanna has either been leading personally or sending men out on the street to protest oppression. For 50 years, that's just him. The men who passed this school to his leadership have been doing it since 1969. And let me hit you Palestinians, you Johnny-come-lately Palestinians or something. I know now you're politically active because of the war in the Middle East, but before this war, you were simply selling our daughters' weave. That's what you were doing. selling our daughters hair weaves, selling our daughters what's that hair perms, owning all the businesses in our neighborhoods. You see, the Palestinians, you don't get politically active until some big major thing happens in the Middle East. When there's no war in the Middle East, you are in the ghetto selling our children Lucy cigarettes and blunts and grape flavored tobacco. You're in our ghettos, making money off of our women and our children and selling us paraphernalia to smoke weed. Now when there's a war in the Middle East, now you Palestinians are up in a fervor. Now you're wild men now. Well, you might want to wake up before there's a war in the Middle East, and you might want to stop selling weed to black people too. You might want to stop selling blunts and cigarettes to people who are not Muslim. You might want to do that. You might want to care about people at least a little bit before you can claim such anger over what's happening in the world. Because the Israelite School of UPK, under commanding General Yahanna, we've defended the weak. We've defended the fatherless. And we don't sell weed the way Muslims sell weed. We don't sell blunts and cigarettes in corner stores the way you Palestinians do. We don't sell pork the way you Palestinians sell pork in your restaurants. We don't do that. You see, we're activated before there's a war in the Middle East that comes on the news. Because we feel something for the oppressed of this world that you feel once the news tells you to feel. So you might want to just let us handle the protesting. You don't know what to do. You run your damn car into the first shield of David you see. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to even express your anger against oppression. You might want to leave it to black people and Hispanics. You let us do it. You other nations, you sit back, and we will make sure that you have new black and Hispanic overlords to rule over you. You don't have to worry about white people. We'll handle that. Don't you worry about that. The Bible says this, brother, that the hand of Jacob took hold of the hand of Esau, and the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand, meaning all mankind rests on the struggle of these two babies. This struggle right here, all mankind is involved. All mankind. Who's going to rule the earth is decided by Jacob and Esau. You Chinese people, you Arabs, you Japanese people, you let us handle this. You go ahead, clean up your businesses. Stop selling pork in Muslim restaurants. Stop selling cigarettes and weed and Lucy cigarettes and blunts and what's those things they love to smoke in their old Muslim bars with all the dildos and the tubes coming out of it, with all those anal tubes coming out that damn sucker. I mean, Salakia. With all of that paraphernalia. You Arabs, I know, I've seen Arabs too, bringing a hookah over to the table next to me when I'm taking my ribs out to a restaurant. I sit there and I see a Palestinian trotting in a smoking hookah to give it to these sinners that sit next to me in the various bars and high-class restaurants I go to. That's when I see Palestinians. Come on. Which one did you go to? Give him my hand. He ain't fall for that. I gotta try. I got to try. I ain't got no choice. Sugar Daddies down on. I went to Sugar Daddies down on there on Germantown Avenue. I know you didn't go, Warrior, but the person that tried to make you go was, of course, an Arab or a Palestinian. Sure, they were. Sure, they own all the hookah bars. Go ahead.
Quick story, sir. Yesterday we was up. 2 days ago, we were talking about the car movie. And you remember the car with little Arab Palestinian smoke shop. We like, get the chicken. He was like, all right, what lunch you want? What flavor do you want? And me in the car explained it to the Palestinian, like, yo, we don't smoke. He could not fathom. Of
course.
That we was not trying to buy a rep service.
They cut me out. That's my fault. It's lucky. I knew I should have said that anal thing. I cut the whole thing off. Salaki, y'all. Anyway, let's move on. What you guys was just trying to say is you Arabs, you like to sell a lot of drugs and sell a lot of have own smoke shops, and you should probably stop doing that. You might want to work on that. As far as protesting oppression, you let Commanding General Yahanna and the I.S.U.P.K handle that. We know what we're doing. We know just what we're doing. Now, to go into what I was trying to go into earlier, it's gonna, when the news calls us a hate group, right? That scares your mama, scares your wife, right? Your wife is terrified of us. Your mama is terrified of us. They're so scared of us. They're not afraid of the Catholic Church, though. They're not afraid of the Christians. They're afraid of us. It's because people say we're racist and we're a hate group. I'm going to show you that they said the exact same thing about Martin Luther King. They said it about him. There's a myth around Martin Luther King today that he loved everybody. They did kill him, you know. Did you know about that? That they shot him and killed him? And you know that he went to jail how many times, Alexa? How many times did Martin Luther King get arrested?
Here's something I found on reference.com. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was arrested 30 times.
Yeah, you see that? Let's stop right there. Alexa, stop. He was arrested 30 times. So I know you have this myth in your brain about him, that he was so loved, that he was bringing all the races together. He went to jail 30 times, and they shot him. So there's a myth in your mind about Martin Luther King because our oppressor and your Christian preachers want to rebrand him to suit their purposes today. But I'm going to show you who the real Martin Luther King was. Even his march on Washington was not a march against racism. It was not a march to promote integration. It was a march for jobs. That was the name of the goddamn march. Alexa, what was the name of the Martin Luther King march in Washington, D.C.?
The March on Washington was the name of Martin Luther King Jr.'s march in Washington, D.C.
I ain't asking the question right. Someone look up the name of that. It was the March for Jobs. Malak.
March for Washington. It's like a march on Washington for jobs and freedom.
That's what the march was about, for jobs and freedom. It was not so that we could all live together in racial harmony. The march was because Black people were not allowed to join the unions. The unions were not accepting us. And so and without being a part of a union, you can't work in the factory. You can't work for Ford. You can't work for General Motors. And so he had people from the South walk to DC for jobs. For jobs. Now the march was about racial equality. That's because your preacher is lying about Martin Luther King. And the UPK has been fighting the lie about Martin Luther King since 1969. The lie about him. Well, I'm going to show you who he really is. But let me also show you who they do not call a racist. Give me the Christian women talking, if I could. You have that one? Give me that. Because, of course, the news calls us a racist, so that's going to scare a lot of you homos. I mean, you homos out of the truth. Because, you know, you don't want your mom thinking that you joined some hateful group. I get you. You should leave immediately. But for those of you that have a little courage, I'm going to make you very comfortable with being called a racist. It is a tool that white people have always used to demarginalize Black people who fight against oppression. They said it about Malcolm X. They said it about the Black Panther Party. They said it about Jesse Jackson. And they said it about Martin Luther King. You know, they called him a race baiter. Look up that term. That's what Martin Luther King was. An outside agitator, riling up the Negroes in Alabama. When Black people in Alabama, we get along with our white folks. But Martin Luther King is an outside agitator, a race baiter, riling up the good Negroes of Alabama. That's what they said about him. That's a quote. That's a quote. And I'm going to read you more. But let me show you who your mom will love you to associate with, who your woman will love you to go join, the Christians. No one calls them a hate group, right? These are two Christians doing a podcast, and they're going to complain about a problem with dating Christian men and going to church. Play it, please.
I'm saying I want to know that my man is attracted to me because many Christian women have entered into marriages and they are with men who don't like them.
They don't like them. Mm-hmm. They don't like their kind. And listen, and you thought it was cute. And you thought,
he
so
never
godly.
tried me.
He's so godly.
And you know what? You might have one that's so
godly
that never tried.
Taste this. She's saying, I don't want a lot of Christian women marry these men, and the man doesn't want you. They don't want your kind. Then the other one starts to laugh. And this is the important part. And you thought it was cute, meaning he's so godly. He don't even try to have sex with me. He don't even try to touch me. He's such a good Christian man. You see, you weren't suspicious of that. You're suspicious of us because of the way we dress and because we rock beards and boots and braids. And because of that, you're very suspicious of us. But you're not suspicious of him. You think the fact that he has no interest in sex with you means he's just a very godly man. You think the fact that the IUIC only wants one woman means they're godly men, don't you? That's what they're more. See, we're wild, crazy cats, here. We're like alley cats and they're house cats. We're in the streets and doing all kinds of stuff with women. But the IUIC, no, they don't believe in fornication. They only have one woman. They don't want any more women. If you tried to force them to have another woman, they would smack her and run out of the room because they're so righteous. You might want to think again about the real danger that you're in. You might want to look a little closer, Christian women, purple women. Continue.
Tried you, baby, and you made it out. To the glory of God for that testimony. For many, that's not so. And I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who actually did end up with the man who don't want you.
Yeah.
Huh? You. I'm trying to make sure I end up with a man who want me.
That's right.
Who like me.
That's right.
Who want to love me.
That's
who want to be married to me.
Hello.
And all of me.
Hello.
Because I cannot compete with he.
Preach.
Hallelujah.
Do you get how you live?
Do you?
I ain't talking down on nobody. Because let me tell you something. You got to answer for stuff. Baby, I got to answer for some things.
Hello.
Huh?
See, they're not afraid to join the church. Your mom ain't going to be upset if you join that. Your woman will congratulate you for getting saved. Oh, baby, did you get saved? Did you go before the altar? Yeah, I went before the altar. Yeah, I'm going to church every week. That's what you're going to tell her. Oh, I'm joining the men's choir. Don't they got one of those up there? The men's choir. That's what they joining. Where you going? Hey, babe, listen, let's have sex tonight. I'm sorry, the men's choir is having a practice. I got to go. But baby, I'm naked and I'm in the bed. I know, but the glory of Jesus, I have got to get out there and get to the men's choir. I'm sorry. But baby, I'm bent over. I'm bent over in front of you. I know, but Jesus is God and Jesus is great. And I got to get to the men's choir practice. Okay, you really love the Lord. I guess that's good. Keep you there. You want to say something? Huh?
My bad, says you go. Big Frida called.
I've got to go. I've got to the practices. I'm late. I'm late for the men's choir. You see, the people that you're not afraid of, they're the ones that are going to molest your children. The people that you're very comfortable, the people that Fox News doesn't insult, are the people that are going to molest your children. And they're going to have sex with the other men in the men's choir. And the people who Fox News hates, who they call a racist, we're the people that will not harm an Arab woman who's trying to kill us. That's who we are. And it's not talk. It's the evidence is right there. This is not talk. When they call us racist, that's talk. When they call us a hate group, that's talk. But the fact that an Arab woman tried to kill us and we did not hit her, harm her, or shoot her, and we all had guns. All of them. That's fact, Doc. That's fact. Okay? The Christians, they're the racists. They're the ones burning crosses in people's lawn. They're the ones killing Trayvon Martin. They're the ones killing Eric Gardner. The Christians are murdering blacks and Latinos. They're the ones at the border trying to kill the Mexicans. Them. The Jewish people, they're the ones bombing Palestine. They're the ones killing children. The Arabs, they're the ones who did 9/11. They're the ones who do the terrorist attacks. That's not talk. That's fact. We're the ones who didn't harm an Arab woman who tried to kill us. That's what happened. Okay, I know they call us racist. I know that's what they say. That's to scare you. They said the same thing about Martin Luther King. All right? Give me the article about Martin Luther King.
Sir.
I know I'm missing questions. I'll try to get to them after this. Go ahead.
MLK is revered today, but the real king would make white people uncomfortable.
Read that again.
MLK is revered today.
Now, you know, we didn't write this. This is a news article about Martin Luther King. He's revered today, Martin Luther King. Go ahead.
But the real king would make white people uncomfortable.
Yeah, the real Martin Luther King would make white people uncomfortable, just like we make white people uncomfortable. Just like people look at us and they're terrified the minute they see us, scared to death. You should have saw the reporter went over to our school in Indianapolis. She was terrified. They're always terrified of us all the time. We've had to learn to just live with that. There are many times I don't even go to a place because I know if I walk in the door, everybody gets scared, and I just find a way not to go in there. Because if I get in there, then everybody is terrified because I walked in the goddamn room. And it's something you almost have to just learn, you know, to live with and learn to navigate around, because I can't turn it off. Everyone understands. There's no way to turn it off. So I just try to talk nice and please and thank you and yes, ma'am, and no problem. I try to use my words to relax people because I know the sight of me scares them. Everyone understands. But of course, you're not afraid of the Christians. You're not afraid of the Muslims, and they're the ones who are actually hurting people. Martin Luther King made white people scared in his day. They were scared of him. Read it one more time.
MLK is revered today, but the real king would make white people uncomfortable.
Keep going.
Martin Luther King was a walking, talking example of everything this country despises about the quest for black liberation.
Mm-hmm. That's what they thought of him at that time. At that time, they hated him. They couldn't stand him. He was considered someone that was riling up the Negroes, that was making them go in the street and protest. I hear people all the time say, all you UPK Israelites do is go outside in the streets. All you do is protest in the streets. Who in the hell else was protesting in the streets? The people you name holidays after today. Now, you Israelites, all you only in the streets yelling. Who else was in the streets yelling? All of the people in February that you named Black History Month after were people in the streets yelling. But now, when we're in the streets yelling, it's because we're broken, we're poor, and we just want trouble. Martin Luther King, where was his speech at? Indoors? In the Holiday Inn? In the church? It was outside. In Washington, D.C. All the protests outside. Every speaker that you praised in February was in the streets. Now you think of them as being people orderly and Christian, but in that day, they hated them because they were in the streets. They hated them. I appreciate your word. Continue.
Every year on the third Monday in January, America hosts a Sadie Walkins style rehearsal, where the country pretends to celebrate a man whose achievements and values they spent the previous 364 days ignoring, demonizing, and trying to dismantle. Today, your favorite.
Yes, read that part again now. Listen carefully. Read that again, please.
Where the entire country pretends to celebrate a man whose achievements and values they spent the previous 364 days ignoring, demonizing, and trying to dismantle.
That's what they thought of the real Martin Luther King. They hated him. They couldn't stand him. But let me skip you down for time's sake. I sent this to you, right? 1 second. Here we go. You should read this. Also, you should go read Martin Luther King's letter from the Montgomery prison. That's an excellent letter written by Martin Luther King to show you who he actually was and how people hated him. They couldn't stand him, and of course, then they killed him. Let me skip you down. Stand by. Okay, we're gonna go down. I don't even have time to read all this. It's ridiculous. Where you at now?
I think maybe a paywall because I'm only seeing this.
Well, that's all you get. Oh, I'm getting the whole thing.
First paragraph.
Read the quotes. Okay, you see the quotes with his quote right there? His local paper, if you have to ask a Negro player, let me see. Oh, okay. New and more compassionate America, just as intolerant. And so I'm skipping down. Jimmy Lee Jackson, you see that?
Jimmy Lee Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy Lee Jackson. I might have to hand you my phone out for time's sake, all right? Anything? It's highlit. And the quote is highlit as well.
In a quotation, sir?
There's a different color on my phone.
Oh, that color might be red.
Mm-hmm.
The murder of Jimmy Lee Jackson?
Yeah, read that.
The murder of Jimmy Lee Jackson by the Alabama state trooper. The people who believe the NFL should have kicked Colin Kaepernick.
I'm going to skip you down. Oh, that's excellent. If you can read this, I'll post it up so you can read this. King's death by refusing to play. They were furious. Right, read, they were furious.
Sir.
Skip down to the quote. Oh, I don't have time because the whole thing is so damn good. Just read the quote right under that. It says, King regularly.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
Was it above there?
It's
King
below.
regularly judged white people to explain the insanity of white supremacy.
Read that part again.
King regularly judged white people to explain the insanity of white supremacy.
Read it again. This is what he did, Martin Luther King. Go ahead.
Martin Luther King regularly judged white people to explain the insanity of white supremacy.
Regularly, Martin Luther King would challenge white people and judge them. Judge them. Why is that word so important to an officer in the UPK? Who has heard the ubiquitous statement that someone will tell an officer in the UPK? Officer, you're not supposed to judge anybody. It's wrong to judge. You're judging. Read it again.
King regularly judged white people.
Martin Luther King regularly judged white people. That's what he did. Regularly judged white people. Keep going.
To explain the insanity of white supremacy.
To explain the insanity of white supremacy. I can read this whole damn thing. Read Martin Luther King's letters from the Montgomery jail and how he couldn't stand the preachers and hated the politicians, black preachers and black politicians, and how evil white people were and the oppression that black people were under, and they arrested him 30 times because of it. And then they unalived killed him because of it. Now he's, all he cared about is white people and black people loving each other. That's the false memory that we have now of Martin Luther King that really came from preachers who want to use that memory to get you to go out and vote and get you to support white people. Everybody understands. Though you cannot be afraid when someone calls you a racist. You can't let that scare you. Okay? Because they called Martin Luther King a racist. They said that he judged white people. They arrested him 30 times. Do you understand? You can now say you love Martin Luther King and you hate Commanding General Yohanna when they hated Martin Luther King the same way. And now you love him once a year. You're going to have some courage when people call you a racist. You're going to have some courage, or else white people are allowed to forget your oppression. I'm quoting from this article right here. I'm going to try to find this. I'm going to skip you down one more time. When we're not allowed, I'm saying anyone who knows. Read, skip farther down. You see for the entirety of the 39 years.
Is that highlighted or what?
It's like separate in a separate paragraph with quotes next to it. I got it. And after that, you're gonna skip down to be fair, and then that's that. You can do it for the people on the screen. That's good. If not, let's just keep going.
Says that's for the entirety of 39 years.
It's a separate paragraph. I can hand you my phone if you want. Okay, it's right there. Boom. And then you're going to skip down past that. And then to be fair. Right there. Okay, scroll up to the paragraph and then read to be fair.
For the entirety of 39 years.
Listen carefully, Akwakim and Akim. Go ahead.
For the entirety of 39 years that King lived and breathed, there wasn't a single day when the majority of white Americans approved of him.
For his entire 39-year life, there was not a day when the majority of white people approved of Martin Luther King. For his entire life. It wasn't until he died that he became such a god for race relations. And all he cared about was bringing the race together. That is not how he lived. And white people did not like him when he was alive. For the same reason they hate Commanding General Yohanna and they hate you. Continue.
Skip down.
Skip down to the other one, to be fair.
To be fair, King readily admitted that it was his goal to make white people.
Taste this. Taste this here. Listen carefully, y'all. Listen carefully. This is a quote from the letters from Montgomery Prison. This is a quote from Martin Luther King. Read it.
To be fair, King admitted that his goal to make white people uncomfortable.
Read that again.
To be fair, King readily admitted that it was his goal to make white people uncomfortable.
You see, Fox News calls us racist and calls us a hate group. And the Southern Poverty Law System says we're a hate group, we're racist, knowing that it will scare you because you love Martin Luther King. You love him. And you think all black leaders should fit his profile and they should be like him. You don't know who he was. You don't know him. All you know is what people tell you about him to make you vote tomorrow, to get you to give money every Saturday, every Sunday, to get you to come out like a bunch of lemmings and herd you somewhere so someone else can get in office or someone else can get rich. But that's not who Martin Luther King was. Martin Luther King was yet another poor, misguided black leader who saw the oppression of white people, wanted to do something about it, wanted to do something more than the average Christian preacher was doing, which was singing. That was it. That's all they did back then, is praise Jesus. He wanted to get out in the streets and to make white people uncomfortable. Why do you hate us? Why are you against us? Why are we so evil? Read it again.
To be fair, King readily admitted that it was his goal to make white people uncomfortable.
That's a quote from him. To make white people uncomfortable. It was his goal. It was what he was trying to do. Do you understand? Why do you think we go out the street and say what we say? To make them uncomfortable. We're doing it on purpose. We say what we say on purpose. Because if we do not wake up this society, you will die and no one will even know it happened. Come on.
Real quick, sir, if I could, what you saying is so heavy. I remember going out on the streets and bringing out that they had our Mexican brothers and sisters in Georgia in real slavery. And I heard no one talk about it. Like real slavery. Like saying, we gonna give you papers, we gonna let you
In a field, picking vegetables in slavery. That's correct. That's what's happening to the tribe of I.S.U.P.K, the chosen people of God. And no one knows. No one cares. No one thinks about it. We go out and say it. We're racist. We're an anti-Semitic racist hate group. Please go ahead and read. I gotta get some questions answered and get out of here. Come on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just before he condemned white moderates and a letter from Birmingham jail.
That's what happened. That's him. That's the real him. So Akim and Akwathim, you're going to hear a lot about the UPK on the news, and it's going to just keep on going. And you're going to be unable to hide the fact that you're one West. For those of you new brothers and sisters that might be still scared to tell your grandmama where you're going tonight and who you're sitting with tonight, it'll be unavoidable soon. All right? But you got to have some courage. At least have as much courage as Coretta Scott King had to have to be with her man. At least have some courage. You love Coretta Scott King. Well, her man went to jail. You understand? So many black women. You want someone that's a good man. Well, Well, Martin Luther King's wife had to deal with her husband getting arrested 30 times. Your husband goes to camp on the weekend. Shut your mouth about it. Don't complain about it. Just deal with it, all right? Be like Coretta Scott King. Your husband ain't been to jail once. Her husband went to jail 30 times out on the street. Have a little courage. They called him racist. He made white people uncomfortable. Have some damn courage, or else we will die and no one will even know it happened. Everyone understands, all right? All right, good to go clap it up. Now, let's get let me get some questions from on the whatever you got over there, all right? Solid. Any questions in the room? If not, I'm gonna give you some precepts, all right? Stand by. Give me Luke 21 and 20. You can give me the hand of man as betwixt between the hand and the heel. You can also give me This is all good right here. You can give me Revelations 25 and 26, all right? Read what you have. If you have a question, just interrupt me, all right?
The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Let me tell you, Jesus Christ, when he was on the scene, a black man from the tribe of Judah, the greatest man to ever live, when he was out on the street teaching, he was telling Jerusalem that this place is about to be destroyed. The end is coming for Jerusalem. And he was letting them know when it was coming, giving them keys and signs to know when the destruction of Jerusalem was close so that they could get out of Jerusalem, so they could flee and leave Jerusalem. And this is one of those times when he's telling them, just like today, the Spirit of Jesus Christ is telling us to warn you that destruction is close. It's close. Jesus Christ did this exact same thing before the day of Jerusalem came. Now, Jesus Christ and the spirit of the men in the I.S.U.P.K. are doing the same job. We're warning you that destruction is coming. Destruction is coming. When you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, that's what Jesus Christ said. Then the Romans circled the city. The Romans circled the city. Jesus Christ is saying, when that happens, you should leave this city. It's over. You're not going to get over this one. You're not going to win this time. You're not going to be saved this time. It's over when you see the Roman armies circle Jerusalem. Well, right now, Jerusalem is compassed with armies. It's happening right now. You're going to see nation upon nation flooding into your homeland. That is a sign that this captivity is over and destruction is coming. And if you don't get yourself together, if you don't get off of the Arabs' hookah and the white man's Christianity and the Jewish man's hypocrisy, then you are going to die in the day of the Lord. Continue.
Oh God. Then this is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Let them do what?
Flee to the mountains.
Spell that word.
F-L-E-E.
Run! When you see these armies compass this city, run out of here. That's what he said. Flee into the mountains because it's over. Now, can you imagine what's happening right now in the Middle East? What's your preacher doing? Calling us a hate group and singing with a tambourine in his hand? Huh? Jesus Christ was trying to save their lives, man, by warning them of the coming doom. Well, there is a doom coming. It's on its way. And the signs are here. The same signs that happened back then are happening now. And you better run. You better run. Now, how do you flee now? You can't flee now by going up into the mountains. You can't flee now by, going and getting on the boat and going to Paris or whatever you stupid Israelite groups go try to do. The only way to run now is to run out of the world. How do you run out of the world? By changing your conduct. You are going to die, but the new you is going to live. You absolutely are going to die when the doom comes. The new you is safe. The new you is running from the trouble by running from cigarettes, weed, crime, lying, sexual deviance. And because of that, you will run away from the doom, away from the destruction that is coming. Continue.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
And if you're in Jerusalem, get the hell out of Jerusalem. Leave that place. Keep going.
And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
And if you're not in the city, don't you go into that city. Get away from that city because death is coming. What you have to understand when you read this precept is that these prophecies, these signs are happening again. He said they would happen again at his coming. And it's happening now. 70 years after he was gone and rose from the dead and sat next to our Father, 70 years after that, Jerusalem was destroyed, wiped out. Now here we are, 2,000 years later, and it's time for the end to come again. The second coming of Jesus Christ is close. Jerusalem is compassed with armies. Now you better run. You better get out of being you. You better change who you are. Everyone understands. Give me the other precept I asked for. You have it, warrior, in the back? Go ahead.
2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 10. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand.
I brought this out earlier, man. That's when Jacob and Esau were born. Esau came out first. He was the older of the fraternal twins. He came out first. He was red and hairy. But as he's coming out of their mother's womb, his fraternal brother Jacob, who looked like everyone else looked at that time, brown, was grabbing hold of Esau's heel, grabbing his foot. So when they pulled out Esau, Jacob came with Esau because he's holding on to his foot. The Most High did that because that's a sign. That's a sign that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of the world that comes after. That's why they came out like that. And the hand of man is between the hand and the heel. So imagine this being the heel and this being the hand. The hand of man is right in here. What does it mean when it says man? Mankind. This world is a cruel place, and not just in America. This world is terrible in Africa, man. Africa is a horrible place with people in slavery right now in mines, digging cobalt and all of the things you need to work these cell phones. Some African is in some mine digging that out and digging out diamonds and starving to death, and albinos getting their feet cut off and arms cut off so that it's for magic. And in China is doing terrible things to people. Terrible things over there. In Russia, forget about it. Forget about it. And there's a country that has 2 million people in prison. It's called America. They have more people in prison than in Russia, than in China, than in Africa. This world is a terrible place. The reason for it is because Esau is in charge of it. He's in charge of Africa. He's in charge of China. He's in charge of Japan. He's in charge of every country on the planet. And there's another people who are trying to rule after him. And whoever rules, whoever wins in this struggle will rule mankind. Whoever wins in this battle will rule China, will rule Africa. And then Africa will become peaceful, man. If you love all nations and you love all people, then you should work hard so black people can rule the world. So Hispanics can rule the world. Because right now the world is a terrible place. Every place you go is in poverty. In the richest country in the world is in charge. And people are starving in Africa, starving in Palestine, starving in China. Why? Because there's a cruel man in charge of this world. But the man that comes next will be kind. He'll be merciful. He'll be the kind of man that won't even hurt you when you try to run your car into his building. He'll be that kind of man.
He'll be a man worthy of lordship and leadership over the planet Earth. If you want this world to be a better place, if you love white people, then you better pray that black people are the next rulers of this earth. If you love the Chinese, if you love the Africans, then you better pray that Hispanics are the next rulers of the planet Earth. The hand of man is between the heel and the hand. Does everyone understand? Next precept. Yes, I did. 2 and what did I say? 24 and 25. Did I say 25? I don't remember.
You said 26.
Start up at 21 verse before, please.
Go, God. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come.
But that which ye have, hold fast until I come. You see, that's the flee now. The flee back then was actually leaving the city of Jerusalem, because we all lived there. The tribe of Judah lived in that city. And so the Most High God sent Jesus Christ to get us out of that city before the end comes. Now, leaving the world is figurative for joining Christ and leaving the sin that you were born in. And Christ said to the brothers and sisters in the school, man, you hold fast until I come. You hold fast. Screw your courage to the fence post. That's a Shakespearean phrase, man, from the book Macbeth. Screw your courage to the fence post. Fasten it. That's how you want to live now, brother. You better stay strong. Someone calls us a racist or a hate group, nigga, you better lock in. You better screw your courage to the fence post. Don't let that run you off. Why don't you have some courage like Coretta Scott King? Why don't you have some courage like Martin Luther King? Why don't you sisters decide that I know I don't like my man having another woman. I know I don't like to share him. I know I haven't learned to share my husband, but I would rather live and lay with this hero than to lie in the bed with some coward who calls himself a Christian. You better understand that. You sisters in the UPK, you better know you are laying next to a hero. That's who you're laying in the bed with. That's who climbs on top of you every night. A hero. You're not laying in the bed with some Christian who barely can stand to lay next to you. Continue. Hold fast until I come, man. Stay strong until Jesus Christ returns. Continue, if you have it up. You know, I'm sorry, who was reading? You know where we are? Please, go ahead.
Book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 26.
Go ahead.
And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will
he that does what? He that please.
He that overcometh.
He that what?
Overcometh.
He that what?
Overcometh.
That's this life, man. You gotta overcome something to not die in the third world's war. To not die on Judgment Day. You're gonna have to fight something. That's what overcoming something means. To win in a battle. That's what it means to overcome something. Something is fighting you. And if you don't fight back, it's going to overtake you. It's going to prevail against you. But instead, you overcome it. You prevail against to destroy you. Well, if you do that, you're not going to die in the end. You're going to survive Judgment Day. But you better overcome. You better fight. Don't you get turned bitch just because someone calls us a hate group or we're racist. They said the same thing about Martin Luther King. They said the same thing Scott King's mother was saying about her marrying this nigga, getting arrested 30 times. 30 times. And he was having sex with prostitutes. Meanwhile, you can't be with this brother because he has another woman. You better lock in. You better lock in, woman. You better lock in. You better. Because the end is near. Sister.
I wanted to bring out, like, I remember when I first started to learn about the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, even all the demons, like the normal demons that when you come into
Yeah.
that I was dealing with. One thing that stuck to me was, like, there's a bigger war out here.
Come on.
Problems, and it made my problems so little that I didn't even worry about them.
Give her a hand. If I could tell you what that's called, sister, you know what that's called? She just said, when she was having her own problems, like we all did coming into the truth. We all had those problems. Until one day she said that it's bigger than me. You know what that's called? You realized something that you're going to have to realize to stay in the truth and to survive the coming death. You realize that you can't be selfish. That's it. It's a rocket Hawaii I was shot. It's a stage of maturity. Maturity. A baby is selfish. They want their bottle, they want that breast, and they want to be changed, and they want food. And they don't care about anyone else. They scream and cry until they get what they want. That's what babies do. But you're supposed to become a woman eventually, if you're raised right. You're supposed to become a woman who's not selfish, who's not just a walking baby smoking a hookah. You're supposed to be someone that cares about other things other than what gives her pleasure or what makes her feel nice or what satisfies her. That's supposed to happen through maturity if you're raised right. And it happened for you, and congratulations. Give her a hand. So what you want to do is what? You need to overcome. If you don't want to die, because Jesus Christ is coming back. And before the end time comes, there will be not one place on this earth that has not had an opportunity to join the Israelite school of UPK. It's going everywhere. It's going to places if your father or your uncle and he had a Hispanic baby in Bangladesh, we're going to find it. We're going to find that kid over there. That child will turn the TV on one day and go, that's my father's people. That's them. Every country, every land is going to be exposed to our thing, to what the Most High God gave us. And every Black or Hispanic born will have an opportunity to choose life or death. It's beginning already. I think you see it. Let me wrap it up. Keep going.
Oh God. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works.
And keepeth my what?
My works until the end.
Keepeth my what?
My works.
My talk.
My works.
My speeches.
My works.
My sermons.
My works.
My dances.
My works.
My music.
My works.
He that overcometh and keepeth my works, my deeds. We're doing what he did. We turned the other cheek in Indianapolis, did we not? You saw it. That happened. She tried to harm us. We did not harm her. We did not hurt her. We're doing what he would do. We're doing what Jesus Christ said this. You shall not stomp out a smoking flask. It's such a precept for this. Look up smoking in the New Testament. Smoking is like a thing that grows up out of a swamp. Not flask, but look up smoking in the New Testament. You shall not bruise a reed. We don't try to harm people physically. We defend ourselves, and we're trained to defend ourselves. The Israelite School of UPK under commanding Gen.YAHANNA, all of us who are legal carry guns, every last one of us. We find a way to arm ourselves. I have more guns than tears that run down my face. And I learned that in the Israelite School of UPK. All right. And I've trained in self-defense, and we train men in self-defense. We have a Hebrew academy where we specifically train men to physically defend themselves against a wide variety of attacks. We absolutely can take a life if we want to. We could do it. We're trained to do it. But we're merciful and we're kind. And we don't want to harm anyone. And we would only do it in self-defense. And that's not something you could say about the people who are in charge now. The people who lead you now. The people who are in your police force and your military now. You can't say that about them. You have a bruised reed. You have that one? Flax. That's the name of it. Flax. You have, what's your name, Officer Aitanya? Most High in Christ. Go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 3. A bruised reed shall he not break.
That was a prophecy for Jesus Christ. Imagine a bruised reed. A reed is like it's like a hollow stick that grows out of swamps. And the reed is already bruised. It's already hurt. Jesus Christ is not going to break that. He's not going to harm that. Meaning this reed is right to be hurt. It's already bruised. You might as well just snap it off. You know what those brothers could have did to that woman? Anything they wanted. They certainly could have killed her. They certainly could have shot her. They certainly could have roughed her up. It was a terrorist attack. They would have been justified in doing so. But they don't harm people, even the people that they could harm, the people easy to harm. They don't hurt them. That's a prophecy about Jesus Christ. That's one of his works. That's something that he did. Continue.
Smoking flax shall he not quench.
Flax is like corn silk. You know what that is? When you ever had an ear of corn and you peel it, and that that thin stuff that's inside of a corn stalk, that's flax. Now imagine flax that's smoking, meaning it's on fire. And what is it natural to do if something is on fire? Imagine, say again. He wouldn't do that. Flax on fire, he would not go. Nah, I'm not hurting that flax. I'm not hitting that. That happened. Is that what the police do? No. Is that what the Israeli military does? No, that's not what they do, because they don't follow the works of Jesus Christ. If the Israelite school of UPK ever harmed someone, just know that there was no other recourse. There's nothing else we could do. It ain't our fault. You please believe that. If it happens, it ain't our fault. And I think our record proves so. Continue.
God. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth.
What will he do?
Unto truth.
He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. That's it. That's what we do. We don't harm Palestinians. We don't harm Jewish people. We don't rob anyone. We don't unalive anyone. We don't steal. We don't sell drugs. We don't sell hookah. We don't sell blunts. What we do is bring forth judgment unto truth. There's a judgment that this world has to take because of what they've done to the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And we are going to tell the truth about it. That's what Christ would do. And that's what we do. Who's the guard? You want to take it? Who wants to take the guard tonight? Say your name again. Pass the class over to I.S.U.P.K. Get somebody run this up to me, please, all right?